Right, as we can't meet to go through the Wellbeing Day for Year 7, the Online Safety Wellbeing Day, I understand you've got the settling interviews. Just recorded a very short video, hopefully, to take you through the day and just make sure that you know what you're doing. Just a little bit of a warning before we start. A couple of resources aren't quite finished, and this isn't yet linked up to the Wellbeing website. I'll be finishing it this weekend, and everything will be linked up well before you get to that day, and with plenty of time to have a look through the stuff in advance. But I've got enough to be able to explain to you what you're doing in this video, hopefully. So the day is built around what we call the 3 C's of online safety. So if I just go to the start here, it's these 3 bits up here: content, contact, and conduct. And the way that the day will work, they will have 3 periods until lunchtime to learn about those 3 things: content period 1, contact period 2, conduct period 3. And then after lunch, they're going to be making a product to help teach Year 5 students in other schools about online safety and about the 3 C's. So they've got a real audience. They've got plenty of stuff they're going to be able to put into that presentation, and they'll be judged at the end of the day. So I'm going to ask you as a home group to come up with what you think is the best presentation from your class. Send that on to me, and I'll obviously judge them. There will be some gift vouchers for the best in the year group, what I judge to be the best in the year group. And I'll pass on any that I think are really good to our feeder schools so that they do get used, and the benefits of this go beyond our own school. So all of the lessons will just be in Google Slides like this. There's an online workbook that students are going to fill in. I'll show you that in a moment or two. So if you just look at period 1 here, it starts off with a video from me, just setting the scene for students, telling them about the day, giving them the structure, then shows them how to sign up to their online workbook. I'll show you how to do that in a minute. And then there's various videos, discussions, and tasks built in throughout. So this first one here, a little discussion: how do they use the internet? What devices do they use the internet on? And then they can fill in this task, which they'll find in that online workbook. There's then a video talking about the different kinds of content that people might come into contact with on the internet and why that might be dangerous or inappropriate, and then how to actually protect yourself against that content. So there's questions here you can discuss with students once you've watched that video. Feel free to ad-lib if you want to add your own questions in, if there's something that strikes you about the video, or if students have questions which I haven't anticipated on the slides. By all means, take the discussion in a slightly different direction or spend a bit longer on this. If you want to ignore any of my questions, it's just a guide. So, by all means do that. Use your judgment. They're going to be looking at things like not just the material online, but whether or not stuff is true. So reliability, whether there's bias, fake news, fake images, and why we can't trust every picture that we see on the internet. So the example of this guy here looks like he's hanging from a rock, but when you actually look at the picture, that's what the rock's like. It's not as dangerous as it actually looks. So there's loads of stuff in here that I think the kids will really get their teeth stuck into, and you'll be able to have some really good discussions about them. I'll not go through it all with you. Now, after just about all of the discussions, there is then a task to do in the journal. I keep calling it a journal. It's a workbook. It's because we call them journals in ICT and computer science. Right. To get to their workbook, all they're going to do is go to Google Classroom. There's a link on the Chromebook or on Frog. They're going to click the plus, which is there to join a class. The code to join that class is on the slide here. It's that one. And then once they've joined the class, they'll be able to go into the class and they'll see that workbook that I have posted. As soon as they click on it, they'll get their own copy and they'll be able to start filling in that workbook, which, like I say, the slides go through exactly what they need to fill in and when in that workbook. So that's your first lesson. I'll not go through the others in quite as much detail, but just to give you a very brief overview. The second one is about contact. So this is all about communicating with other people online, and whether it's people they know or whether it's people, strangers that they've never come across. So we talk about how they can communicate, why it's important that they don't give out any personal details, why it's important that they know who they're talking to, and how people can deceive people online. Some quite hard-hitting videos on this, like this one, which I think the students will really, they'll get that shock factor from that, and hopefully it'll encourage a lot of discussion. I've tried to break it up a little bit rather than them just watching videos, discussing, and then going and typing in the workbook for 3 periods. I built in a role play towards the end of that lesson where they could potentially come up with, in a group, a danger that somebody could face online and how it could be tackled. So what I'm thinking is the likes of these videos that they've been watching, they could come up with their own script for a version of that, like their own little video that they could then act out and try to use what they've learned about how people could tackle those dangers. The third session, which as you can see, the slides aren't finished yet, is about conduct. So this is about what they do online, how they treat other people, the impression that they give of themselves, schools' acceptable use policy, making sure they're not doing anything inappropriate or illegal online, copyright, making sure that they're not breaking copyright rules, downloading movies and music, and the potential consequences if they do that. So they're the 3 learning periods. They'll find the challenge. There will be slides for this as well, but it's already in the workbook here. So there is a survey, period 4 as well. So period 4 and 5, fill in a very quick 5-minute survey. That'll just help me see what they've learned from the morning. And then this is a challenge. So it tells them what it is, what they're going to create. They can just do this in Google Slides, and they can work in a pair to create their presentation. If they want to do something beyond just some slides, they're more than welcome to create any electronic artifacts that they want, and they can link to them from the slides. So if they want to go and make like a Canva poster, or if they want to make an animation or a video, if they know how to do those things, they're welcome to get creative and create some additional resources. But they must be linked to the presentation, obviously, otherwise I won't be able to see them. When they finish the presentation, they put the link in this box, so they just click the share button, make sure that they click the get shareable link, and then when they've done that, they can just put that link in there. There's some success criteria down here. This is what I'll be judging them on. So as a class, when you do your judging, however you decide to do that, take this criteria into account to make sure that you're choosing presentations which not only look engaging and fun and have good stuff on, but they also cover all of this stuff here as well. If you could just email me the winning presentation, just that one, get the students to share it with me or with you, and then just let me know who it is so I can look out for it. That would be great. I will judge them. There'll be some vouchers for whoever is the best in the year group. I'll not choose that. I'll get our digital leaders to choose the winning presentation, and they'll be using, like I say, this criteria to make that judgment. But I will be passing on a number of these, assuming that there's enough of them that are high quality to our feeder schools, so they can genuinely use these with year 5. I think that that's everything you need to know. Like I say, the resources will be up as quickly as I can get them there. And if you do have any questions or problems or spot any issues, just let us know, and I'm happy to see what I can do about it.